And the 70s suck. There's only like 5 good movies.
You're a fucking idiot.
What?
You're an idiot. That's so not true. I would say the 70s is equal with the 80s as far as good movies go.
I don't know if I would agree with that.
Just because you haven't seen them doesn't mean that that's not true.
But that's my benchmark, right? I have to have seen them, and I've seen more of the movies.
But that's your
fault.
fault.
Or want to have seen them.
That's
Let's say
your
that.
doing.
Well, yeah, but Jim, like, taste is subjective, right? So,
of course.
That being said, in my personal opinion, I don't think the 70s are better or on the same level as the 80s because I just haven't seen any enough. Now, that being said, if I see a bunch of these at some point and I go, you know what? These are pretty fucking good. I reserve the right to change my opinion, but
my thing is,
this moment,
if there's a movie that I want to see, I'll see it. And so far, like there just hasn't been that many 70s movies that haven't either been remade, spoofed, overdone, that it ruins the movie for me.
We have to stop talking for the podcast.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the podcast, essentially.
Okay, all right.
So since we're having a little bit of an unorthodox start to this, welcome to the Critics Club. This is the top 10 films from the 70s. And I'm saying that as a question mark because I'm trying to figure out if I wanted to add, like, I almost said roaring 70s. As like, that's the 20s.
Roaring 70s?
The 70s were gritty, man.
I mean...
All right. Well, you know what? You're definitely the flapper out of all of us.
I mean, by age, wouldn't it be you?
Do you know what a flapper is?
From the 1920s? A dancer? Yeah.
It's kind of more like, I guess, now what would be nowadays a Kardashian girl. A promiscuous female that wore short skirts.
Think you're wrong.
No, it's like a club going. It was like a club going thing. Like it was specifically tailored to females. That terminology.
You know what's hilarious about this is that we're trying to give a history lesson, and
we are.
I want to say that we're terrible at history.
Oh yeah.
So because I've done my due diligence, of course I know who went the last time first, but just keeping you on your toes. Who went first the last time?
It was me.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was supposed to be me, but then Jim was like, "No, I want to go first."
No. It was supposed to be me. Then I was like, I don't want to go first because I want to go last. But then I ended up going first.
I thought he did like that stupid little random crap, and then ended up picking me.
No.
I think regardless, it was Jim last time. It was David, and then I was last. So therefore, I should be going first this time.
Okay.
Is that right?
I predict in our top 10s, we will have at least 2, maybe 3 crossovers.
Oh, that's a safe bet.
Y'all two will definitely have. I assume your whole list will be identical.
Damn near, probably.
We are now streaming, by the way. So
okay.
Mind your P's and Q's.
Hey, motherfuckers.
That's okay.
I don't care about that. I'm just saying, don't reveal sensitive information about your contract job for the CIA.
So anyways, we're tracking this El Migra.
Oh.
And
Is that why the Gulf of Mexico has been so hot this November?
Yeah, just a bunch of illegals snorting cocaine in the Gulf.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what it is.
David, everybody.
No, seriously, fuck it. I don't know. It's definitely been something special. All those damn hurricanes.
Today felt nice though.
I thought you were just talking about like the past couple of weeks in general post election.
Oh no, I don't want to do it.
I don't wanna.
That's why I'm excited to talk about the movies.
Man. All right. So this was very difficult for me. This is the hardest one possible. I'm not gonna lie.
This one took the least amount of time for me.
Yeah, I kind of put this together in about 10 minutes. But in my defense, it's only because I haven't watched that many 70s movies.
Yeah, like similarly,
weren't you born in like 1937?
Yeah, and they didn't come out with the movie until like the 80s when all the good ones came out.
Until you were in your 50s, yeah. I know.
Yeah, so like if we go into the 60s, I'm probably gonna have an even worse time. Just letting you know.
I won't.
Please
do that
don't,
to you guys.
Please don't.
I don't think we're going to the 60s. I think we'd have to go forward, which the next one would be the 2010s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one might be a little bit more.
Well, the next one we're doing is holidays.
Yes, that is correct. We are doing the holiday ones.
I mean, I also have that done. I have my top 50.
Jeez. Jim, you're just so prolific with your film lists.
I try.
I don't know why I can't like. It's hard for me to go past 10 conceptually. I don't know why.
Well, to me, it's easy. It's like it's harder for me to just stick with 10 because, like, number 11, like, could be number 10, and so leaving it off feels irresponsible for me.
Yeah.
To me, though, there's like for me, there's always a very clear hierarchy. And while I would agree, yeah, on any given day, one particular movie I would rather see over another, and that if that's kind of like if that makes sense. But at the same time, for me, it's like, okay, that may be true that I feel more horror or more actiony or more rom-com-y today. But which movie would I know for a fact that I would want to watch? I would be happy to watch it at any time in any day. And that's kind of how I kind of decide on that.
Yeah.
Like which ones have I seen the most because I can't put it down.
Depending on if I'm in if I'm like in a comedy mood, my number 11 might move up to like my number 9.
Right.
And I'll get into what that is later, but yeah, no, it's exactly.
So, for those who are tuning in on Twitchland for the first time, this is the Critics Club. This is where we discuss films, basically ranking them, because we're pop culture aficionados, self-declared. We have very strong opinions.
I think you declared it, and I said okay.
Yeah, I mean that's how strong our opinions are. We just said okay. So this is our, gosh, we're on our 4th episode now already.
Maybe
4th
more.
or 5th, yeah.
5th, yeah. We try to release one episode a month. I think we may have missed 1 month just because of scheduling conflicts.
I don't think we have.
I really don't. I think we released it late, but we definitely did one a month.
Oh well, congratulations, guys. We're consistent. You love to see it. So as I said at the top of the episode, this is our top 10 films from the 70s. I'm gonna go first. I'm just gonna say the name Tim Curry.
Oh, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, that's my number 10.
Good choice.
Yeah, first time I saw it was a midnight showing, as is tradition. If you've never seen a midnight showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, I definitely suggest you do it.
It's like an experience.
Jim, I feel like you would know this better than me. Have you gone to the River Oaks Theater since it reopened?
Yes, once, not to see Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I have seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show live at River Oaks.
I was about to say, are they still doing that?
Yeah. So, in fact, the night that I went there, I went to the 50th anniversary of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And right after we got let out, all of the people that were going to the Rocky Horror Picture Show were outside and having what looked like a fantastic time.
Yeah. I think for the most part, it's pretty much well, I don't know if it's the same experience for everybody, but they usually will do props at the midnight showings. So you could say it's a little difficult to follow along if you've never seen the movie, just because a lot of people are quoting the movie as it's going, but I still think it's a great experience. You should try it at least once.
Mm-hmm. It's like The Room. Mm-hmm. I recommend going to see The Room at least once.
And in that case, God help you.
It's a lot of fun.
So this is the one that's going to probably throw some people.
Real quick, Rocky Horror Picture Show is my number 41.
Okay.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Gene Hackman.
Okay.
Gene Hackman.
I do want to say that this almost had Walter Matthau in it. Matthau, thank you. I don't know why I say Matthew.
Not Superman, is it?
No, it is
that
not
was 80s.
Superman. No. Superman was indeed in the 70s.
Okay.
I think it was like 90, 79 or something.
It was 78.
That was close.
The only reason why I didn't put Superman in here is because I don't really like it. To be honest
Superman 2
was better.
Is way better.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it. I thought it was kind of boring, to be honest with you. Now, that being said, acting wise, Christopher Reeve is great. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
No issues with the casting. I just didn't care for it as a movie.
Yeah, I don't think it was well written, in my opinion. Like, it was more like a TV show movie than an actual like cinematic.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like it was one of the first times they were really attempting to do like a proper superhero film.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I know they did several attempts. Like,
Besides,
I think
they were trying to do like a serious one because they had done like the 66 Batman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's also the Marvel had done the Avengers.
We'll call it slightly more grounded than not. So this is actually The French Connection.
Oh, good choice.
This one I actually had to see in film school.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, there's several. We went all over the place. We went from Westerns to this, Francois Truffaut, one of his films, which I actually did look that up because I don't remember which one that was. The 400 Blows, that's what it was. But yeah, this was one of the films in film school that was actually like, no, this is pretty good. And then from there at number 8, this is where it's going to start to get very pop culture-y, because I started running out of movies that I had actually seen in the 70s. Already at number 9. Number 8. This is a Monty Python film.
Okay.
But not Holy Grail?
I would like for you to guess which one.
Life of Brian.
That is correct.
Life of Brian is man, it goes back and forth for me.
I think it's more of like if you like Monty Python style humor, it's more on the drier British side than say Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
So if you really like that style of humor, it's definitely one of those movies that would be a more enjoyable, more enjoyable to people.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those films that I picked up as a recommendation, and this was much more in the day because I didn't really have a movie rental subscription, or membership rather, until Netflix, really. So Netflix by mail, not Netflix digital. So before that, I would just like, all right, well, a lot of people tell me this film's good, I'll just buy it, and I would buy it to own it before I even watched it. Now I have to pretty much really like that film to have it in my physical collection. The only exception to that is there's a really good deal in that Nicolas Cage film, The Unbearable Weight of Talent.
Oh,
Massive
yeah.
Talent. It was $10 for the 4K Blu-ray. I was like, fuck it, I'll buy it.
No, that might have been 5 too many.
A bad play.
I'm kidding.
I mean, it's Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal. I don't think he can be that awful.
Oh, it's where the meme comes from, where they're driving and they're looking at each other crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. This would really help if I had actually numbered these. Give me just a second.
Life of Brian for me is number 19.
Oh,
we're getting closer then. Okay, that's much better. Now I can actually list out the number. Number 7 involves a keyboard. Involves a keyboard with a very famous tune.
Oh, what? No. Huh.
Da-na-na-na.
Space. Close Encounters.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Good call.
I probably
Good
botched
movie.
that tune. I apologize, but it was close enough that David recognized it, so I feel good.
Yep. Also, it's a very what I hate. I struggle to say spoof, but it's definitely it's been copied and redone so many times by so many different movies, and it's just a very famous tone. Because I know, like Monsters versus Aliens, they did that as a joke with where Stephen Colbert played it and he was the president.
Yes. I feel like it's a pretty large pop culture,
for sure.
moment.
That tone alone, for sure.
Number 45 on my list.
Wow. I mean, and this is the film that
you're mediocre, Geoff. Get over it.
I'm not saying that.
I mean, honestly,
if it's not the top 15,
honestly, with these, we're getting into territory that I wouldn't even consider, like deep cuts. None of the rest of these films are deep cuts because I was really reaching after a certain moment. I'm sorry. It's just like
that's fine. It's your favorites.
And I did make an attempt to watch some 70s films. Jim, if you tell me Smokey and the Bandit is in your top 10, I'll probably be pretty pissed.
Just walk away.
It is not in my top 10.
That was an awful movie.
It is not in my top 75.
because it's awful.
I don't particularly enjoy it very much.
Not on my list, the first Mad Max film.
Not on my list either.
Because that is a garbage film.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone who's listening disagrees with me.
Wait. It is on my list. It is number 75 of 75.
Yeah. It's just a fucking bizarre film. And this is For a Mad Max film, that's saying something. Number 6.
Witness me.
Yeah. Listen, Fury Road, masterpiece.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Mad Max in general, but that was a great movie.
Fury Road and Furiosa, very good.
Never got around to watching the Furiosa.
Oh, so good.
I will say, though, not as good as Fury.
No, but still very good.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth did a really good job in that film. Number 6, Ridley Scott.
Nice.
It's gotta be
Alien?
Yeah.
And we're talking like right on the edge of the 70s.
79?
Yep.
It is indeed. Yeah, Ridley Scott as of late. Not a huge fan of. Not a huge fan of.
He didn't direct Romulus, did he?
No. I think that was Feed.
Because I've heard good things, so I assume he didn't direct it.
I might be getting that wrong. I almost thought it was Feed Alvarez, but I don't think that's right. Oh, it is. I was right. Okay. I always get confused about what he's directed because he did Evil Dead. Yeah, Evil Dead 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is also very good.
Oh, he did the 22 Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well.
Which is not a good fucking film.
Oh, no, I apologize. He did the story for that.
Oh, okay.
Which, I don't know if that really makes a difference. But yeah, anyways. Alien, not necessarily in my horror list, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I included it in there. Maybe I did.
I feel like you did. I feel like that was what we all had.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a great film.
Yeah, it's I would say it's probably I would say it's definitely an important film. I mean, it launched a franchise.
It also kind of launched a genre of like sci-fi horror.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the other night I walked in and my wife was watching this movie, and I said, "What did you think?" And she said, "It was so slow." I was like, "You know what? All right."
Alien?
She's not wrong.
Yeah. Oh, it's a slow burn movie.
Yeah, but it's one of those where it's more like, let's build the suspense, let's build the horror, and it's more of like a 1 through Act 3.
She got mad that I kept referring to the dude as Bilbo Baggins.
Damn it!
I mean,
you're not wrong. You're technically correct, sir.
I mean, I think that's probably one of the only. Besides, what's that Bruce Willis movie?
Die Hard?
No. It's the Bruce Willis movie with Mila Jovovich. Fifth Element.
Oh, Fifth Element?
Fifth Element?
Yeah, because he's in that too.
Mm-hmm.
He is?
Yeah.
He sure is, dude. He's the father of Vito, whatchamacallit.
Oh, you're right. I totally forgot.
Wait, have you seen Romulus yet, Jim?
No, I haven't. My brother-in-law has, and he said it was really good, but I have not seen it yet.
All right, then I will not say anything.
Did you like it?
No, it's not necessarily that. I have not seen it yet, but I know of a plot line that may or may not upset you. So that's why
I usually don't get upset about that stuff, but yeah, I get it.
Number 5, Gene Wilder film.
Okay.
Now this is the trick though, because there's several Gene Wilder films in the 70s.
Let's see if it's the same one that I got.
Willy Wonka?
It is the definitive version of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Jim, you can sigh all you want. I love that film.
No, it's my 28. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't. I this is one of those films that I've talked about this before, but McDonald's had that promotion with the VHS tapes. That's where we got Back to the Future. Coincidentally, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was that other one. Yeah, not much I would change about that. The other ones have been okay, and I have yet to see the Timothy Chalamet version, but
I have only seen the Gene Wilder one. The what's his name? Johnny Depp one?
what do you mean the
Looks
Tim Burton?
stupid as hell. And I just don't. I feel like I'm too old to see the Timothy Chalamet one.
It's okay, but that definitely is like Tim Burton with way too much money.
Yeah,
he just leans real hard into his yeah. Beetlejuice was that's all I gotta say on that.
Oh, I don't even want to. Yeah, I don't love the first one.
I really like the first one. I thought that was good.
Okay.
Number 4 is probably my favorite Monty Python film of all time.
Okay.
It is Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what can I say? It's probably the most quotable of all the films.
Number 25.
Julia was actually the one that made me watch it like end to end. The first time I ever saw it, because I just had never had a chance to see it.
Have you ever watched Spamalot?
No, want to though.
So good.
And we're trying to get into more like Broadway shows, quote unquote. And I say Broadway with a loose because obviously that would require traveling to New York. The Broadway I'm referring to is like plays here in Houston.
Yeah.
We are seeing Book of Mormon in January, and I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
So number 3 and number 2, I'm kind of merging these together. These are both Mel Brooks films. This was hard for me to choose between 3 and 2. However, Blazing Saddles did decide to move ahead of Young Frankenstein for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Young Frankenstein is good.
I think it's fucking great.
Hey, Blazing Saddles though, the one line that really like solidifies it for me. There's a couple of them, but the one is like, these are, common clay of the West, idiots. And he fucking makes the guy break character.
Yep, and they just leave it in.
Beautiful.
I like the line, and I can't say it. But
Yeah, I know
when he's holding himself hostage. That is one of the best.
Yo, where are the white women at?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just the behind the scenes making of that too is pretty cool. Yeah, Mel Brooks, great film. They're one of the major reasons why I bought that collection is because I didn't have from you. I didn't have all of his stuff on Blu-ray. So it worked out.
Nice, glad to help.
Number 1 is probably.
I know what it is.
It's a cop out.
It's not a cop out. It's not a cop out.
It is Star Wars. I started with that as my number 1, and I was like, all right, let's see if there's anything else that could top that. I was like, nope.
I kind of did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean that's
that was my benchmark.
Yeah, I'm not saying It's really hard to watch it now in its original form. There are ways to, if you sail the high seas.
Or if you buy a laser disc player and buy the laser disc.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are some DVD copies that are
I think
still
it was
around.
the original
Release.
full screen DVD release, not widescreen though.
Right. I mean, I still, the only reason I can think that this is still the case is because George Lucas had it in his contract when he sold to Disney. He's like, you just can't release those old versions. That's the
Why does
only
he
reason.
sound like Joe Biden?
I was like,
because he sounds like Joe Biden now.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So old.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the SNL sketch where George Lucas is trying to get them to bring him a Coke Zero?
Oh my god!
You will bring me a Coke Zero.
I like the Robot Chicken. It's like a pitch meeting or something, and they were like, we really want to do what was Luke's daughter's name in the extended universe?
Luke's daughter?
Oh, not daughter, or no? Oh, his wife.
Mara Jade.
Mara Jade.
Yeah.
He's like, we're so excited to read Mara Jade because we know you created her, and he's like, I did not invent Mara Jade. Get this shit out of here! And he acts like he's all pissed off, and he kicks out one of the guys, and Seth Green is like, oh, I'm so sorry, George. He's like, amateurs. Oh man, it's the worst acting of all time, but George would know what that is anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely not a perfect movie. I mean, story-wise, it's an amalgamation of how many other... It's the hero's journey, essentially.
All right.
But for its technical effects alone and models and stuff, I think it's an amazing film.
That is one of the greatest making of behind the scenes you could possibly watch. It's so interesting.
I mean, it literally should never have been made.
Watching them do the Death Star scenes the way that they did them is fascinating.
I mean, it's so fascinating that I bought the book.
Oh,
for the behind the scenes.
I have that book. Mm-hmm.
They made one for Empire and Return of the Jedi.
I have all three. Yeah,
they're fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the only behind the scenes. I have a lot of art books, but it's hard for me to have behind the scenes.
This year, a Quentin Tarantino art book came out. I want to try and maybe ask for that for Christmas.
Oh, I tell you what, they for the 20th anniversary of Half-Life 2, they're re-releasing their behind the scenes.
Oh, the documentary?
No, not a documentary. It's a book. It was a book called Raising the Bar, and it was an art book / how the game was made. It's been out of print since 2003.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I didn't know that.
They're re-releasing a new version of it, called Re-Raising the Bar, and it's supposed to have episode 1, 2 concept up for episode 3, all sorts of stuff. So I'm gonna definitely pick that up.
Oh, very cool.
So David.
Yes.
It is now your turn.
It is. All right. Let's see. I don't know if you heard the conversation earlier. To those listeners that may be joining us. The 70s has a lot of good movies, but I've not seen most of them just because one, I may not know they exist, or more importantly, they just never piqued my interest because more of the movies that came out in the 80s was kind of like the stopping point for me, unless for whatever reason, they were like a movie that had a sequel in the 80s or 90s, which this made me decide, oh, okay, let me see some of the original or the earlier works. That being said, I will do my 10 now. So this one we have already said, thank you, Geoff, but director Ridley Scott, made in 1979, Alien.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
buddy.
I already said this before. The in the last few episodes, Alien just is one of my favorite movies of all time. The only reason why I didn't rate higher in this list is because for me, it's very much I have to be in the mood for it. It has to be like if I'm wanting to watch Aliens, I might watch Alien kind of situation. This next movie no one's mentioned yet is something that you may be able to guess. Director is Randall Kistler. It stars John Travolta, made in 1978.
Oh my god.
Is this Saturday Night Fever?
No,
Really?
it's not.
It's worse.
Yep.
Oh, is it?
It's worse.
Is it? And there might be Olivia Newton-John.
Oh God!
I have a reason why.
Oh, wait. Let me say it first.
I'm just
Grease.
saying.
All right, go ahead.
So in high school, we did this show, and I was in theater tech. So I had to listen. I had to listen to these fucking songs.
Oh no!
Like over and over again. Then, guess what? We got picked up for UIL for this play. So then we had to do it like 10 more times.
That okay. You definitely earned the.
So it did not make my list.
I don't blame you for that one. Yeah, I mean the only reason this one made my list is because it's one of the few 70 movies I've seen, and funny enough, it was because of school that I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't. It was because one of my first serious girlfriends. This was her favorite movie, and so she made me watch it, and I'm like, okay, it wasn't that bad. But it's one of the few 70 movies that I actually will watch and still enjoy. So
Hot take, Grease 2 is better.
Oh yeah. I disagree, but okay. So let's go ahead and keep on going. The next movie is made by George Lucas, made in 1977. Recently was starred on Geoff's top film in the 70s,
American Graffiti.
American Graffiti. That's a great. Actually, you know what? I forgot about that film, and I kind of wish I had remembered. That's a great film. But no, Star Wars was my number 8.
There's one film that Geoff didn't mention that I'm wondering if you're going to mention, and if not, I'm going to be shocked. But go ahead. Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure it's the next one. This is a director. I cannot say his last name, so we're just going to go with 1976, starring Sylvester Stallone. Rocky. That's my number 7.
That's not it, but yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't like Rocky.
A villain.
Sorry,
by the way.
It's okay, and it's not a film for everybody. But the reason why I like Rocky so much, is Sylvester Stallone literally, writing and film and directing this. It's kind of like one of those like the behind the scenes story about him doing it.
That
is actually
part is
very
cool.
Inspiring.
Extremely cool on how it was made.
But
don't like the film.
I get
personally.
It's not for
Adrian.
It's the only Rocky movie I've seen.
Really?
I mean,
I've never seen any of the other ones.
2 is probably the most famous one. And then because it's like Ivan Drago And
Man, I thought Ivan Drago was like Rocky 4.
Yeah,
that might be 3.
I thought Apollo
actually.
Creed. I thought Apollo Creed was 2.
Was also 2.
Apollo Creed is 2.
Because doesn't it take place like immediately after the first one ends?
I believe yes. 2, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so 3 is Ivan Drago. 4 was
Is it like Hulk Hogan in one of them?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm losing it then.
It's been a while since I watched all the Rockies, so
Hulk Hogan doesn't down the clown, brother.
Oh my god, I fucking hate
that was terrible.
He was in Rocky 3.
Jesus.
He was in Rocky 3, okay.
With Mr. T. Mr. T was in Rocky 3.
I forgot about
and
that.
And he's Clubber Lang. I know a lot about these movies that I've never seen.
Listen, you could knock on my bad impersonations all night long, but his fucking name of the movie was Thunder Lips.
Yep, I do know that.
Thunder Lips.
Because Roddy Piper would always call him that when cutting promos on him.
God.
That's hilarious. All right, so number 6 is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. One of the reasons why I didn't rate higher is just because it's a movie that I typically watch only around Halloween. While it is a great movie for any other time, it's definitely plays heavily onto the horror, not horror, but like it's more of like to me it's always been more of a Halloween time movie.
To me it's just you gotta see it live.
And I mean, my first time watching it, I did not see it live. I watched it in the company of other people because I had never even heard of it. And I was in my mid-20s, maybe late 20s before I watched it for the very first time. And fantastic movie.
They ate the meatloaf.
It's got meatloaf in there, man.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of my favorite. That it's just I like Tim Curry. I just like him as an actor. He's fascinating to watch.
Dude, that is one of the greatest shames. There's his health last couple years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, man, what we could have had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What a gift. I'm glad he's still doing stuff, but man, love Tim Curry.
Yep. So on that really sad note, let's go on to something a little happier. My number 5 is a Monty Python film, and I'm pretty sure you can guess which one.
It's Holy Grail.
Oh, absolutely, it's Holy Grail. It's actually the very first Monty Python movie I ever watched. And only reason why I watched it is because I'm actually a big fan of John Cleese.
Really? Interesting.
I like him.
Okay.
I love Fawlty Towers.
Fawlty Towers is good.
Yep. And the reason why I put only that versus any other Monty Python style movie is because that was the first one I was introduced to. It was kind of like can any other one beat this? Some aspects, yeah. Other aspects, no. To me, it's always been one of the better all around movies. My number 4, it was directed by Steven Spielberg, 1975.
Mm-hmm.
Would anyone like to take a guess?
I mean, I know what it is.
Oh,
it's Jaws.
Oh yeah.
Is this the one that surprised you, Jim?
No, and I'm still very surprised.
No, get it. Wait. We're still. I got 3 more.
I know.
I know which one you're thinking of.
Okay.
Because the next one is directed by Francis Ford.
Okay. Now let me see if it's the one that I have.
Do you know which one this would be with Marlon Brando and Al Pacino?
I mean,
have never seen
I
it.
guarantee you probably put Godfather 1.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Oh, because it's the thing that started it all. Without one, there would be no two, and two, oh, two's so good.
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh man,
That doesn't surprise me.
And I'll tell you precisely why. I started trying to, and I started to fall asleep.
I guarantee you that it was a movie that was overhyped to you.
Yeah, it
probably.
was. It was.
That happened. I didn't let that happen with Godfather, but that happened with Scarface. And A Clockwork Orange. I think those two movies are boring as shit, and because everybody would say those are the greatest movies of all time.
You know, Scarface was good. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great movie, but I wouldn't call it the greatest film of all time. It definitely is highly entertaining, but only in certain scenes. Certain scenes are good, but for Godfather, it's great. I don't know. Like I just really liked it.
I started to dip my toes into like more of like the like crime films that people are like, these are so good. I watched Goodfellas, thought it was good. It wasn't like amazing, but it was good.
I think Goodfellas is definitely one of those movies, just like The Godfather, where there's like 5 or 6 really good scenes that kind of make the movie, and then there's the other supporting scenes that are good.
I mean, for me personally, it was just exciting to see Joe Pesci as not
a comical like robber.
Exactly. Because I was just like, it was hard for me to take him seriously in it, and then I was like, okay, he's a dumbass, but okay, he's good.
Yep. Oh yeah. My next movie was directed by Clint Eastwood and Don Siegel.
Oh, okay.
Can you guess what the movie is?
Is it Dirty Harry?
It is Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Had to put an Western-esque style movie in there.
Yeah, it is Western-esque. I will give you that.
Well.
Very much so.
Well. And the number one favorite movie of all time from the 70s is directed by Mel Stewart. Stars Gene Wilder. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Wow.
Well,
number one.
Because I can watch that movie just about any time. I don't need a special excuse to watch it. If I'm watching a movie of that from that time period.
I mean, damn. All right, well, Jim.
All right, I got to preface this. All right, I said it at the beginning, but let me say it now. I have 2 lists. I have a list that is my real top 75 films of the 1970s. That includes all of the horror movies that I talked about last week or last month. Okay, otherwise this would be just a very boring rehash because truthfully, The Exorcist is my favorite movie of the 1970s. It just is. I'm sorry. So I wrote a secondary list just for this. That is the top 25 of the 70s for this podcast. I'm not including any of the horror movies I talked about last time, and so it'll be a little bit more entertaining. But if you hear me say a certain movie is a certain number, that's different than what I said earlier. That's because earlier I was referring to my main 75 list, not my 25 list. So, without further ado, here is number 25 through 11. And I'm just going to rapid fire these.
Go.
All right. Number 25, Rocky. Number 24, Animal House. Okay. Number 23, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Number 22, Two-Lane Blacktop. Crazy
Really?
Good. So good. Number 21, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Number 20, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Number 19, Blazing Saddles.
Damn.
Number 18,
I forgot about that movie.
Number 18, Vanishing Point. Number 17, Assault on Precinct 13. Number 16, and one that I'm actually surprised at least one of y'all didn't say, but my number 16, Apocalypse Now.
Never seen it.
That's a good movie, but...
Number 15, another movie I'm surprised one of y'all didn't mention, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Never seen it.
I had to watch it in high school, and that kind of killed it for me.
Okay. Number 14, Monty Python's Life of Brian.
Never seen it.
Oh, yeah, good.
I'm just kidding. No, I just wanted to see how many of these I could like respond to. Never seen it. Never seen it.
Number 13, Death Race 2000.
Oh, shit! I forgot about that movie.
David Carradine.
Yeah.
1975. Right before Sylvester Stallone made Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Some say he choked himself extra hard that day.
Oh, I love that movie so much. Number 12, directed by William Friedkin, who also directed The Exorcist. This movie's called Sorcerer. Not a lot of people know it, and it's probably this high on my list because of the soundtrack done by the band Tangerine Dream. Very good. Number 11, a movie that doesn't nearly get talked about enough, and it's criminal, is the movie Slapshot. Comedy movie starring Paul Newman about hockey.
I vaguely recognize the name, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's so funny. All right, so top 10, and this is my honest top 10. That doesn't include horror movies. Well, one's kind of a horror movie. All right, number 10, 1974, directed by John Howe. I guarantee you don't even know who that is.
Jim, I'm just gonna say right now, if you're trying to get us to guess these, they're probably gonna go.
Some of these you'll know. Some of these you will know. Okay.
Okay.
Number 10, Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry.
Wow.
What?
That is a name.
It is a movie basically. Peter Fonda and another actor that I'm blanking on right now. Oh, Adam Rourke. They're basically like heistmen, and they pull jobs on like supermarkets, and they've obviously been doing this for a long time, and they're doing it to be able to get their car NASCAR ready. Well, Peter Fonda's character has a one-night stand with Mary, and she ends up kind of screwing up the heist that they're doing in the town, which is in Washington State. And so once they're on the run, the whole rest of the movie is just one giant, like 45-minute long, absolute badass car chase. And it's just so good. All practical effects. The dialogue is great. The action is great. And the ending is complete. You aren't ready for the ending when it happens. But yeah, that's my number 10. I definitely recommend watching it. I don't know if y'all will, but I definitely recommend it. Number 9, David kind of mentioned it. It's Francis Ford Coppola, also 1974. This is The Godfather Part 2. And Godfather Part 1 is a very good movie, but Godfather Part 2, with it being both a prequel and a sequel at the same time, it just has way better. It just has a way better story, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So that's why I picked it over one, and I didn't want to combine them or anything like that. So number 8, 1973, directed by George Lucas.
American
Graffiti.
American Graffiti. Yep. One of my favorite movies from the 90s that we talked about is Dazed and Confused. This is the proto Dazed and Confused. Made in 1973, but it's a basically a coming of age kind of slice of life, Southern California.
Americana movie.
Yeah, it's actually 1959. It's just, cars, rock and roll on the radio, and what's going to happen when these couple of people go off to Vietnam, and how it affects, the multiple different relationships. If you like that kind of movie, this one is definitely worth watching. Very young Harrison Ford, Cindy Williams, Richard Dreyfuss, Ron Howard's in it, and so yeah, it's very good. I can't remember if this came before or after Happy Days. I would think it's before.
Happy Days.
Either way, Ron Howard got the job because of one of these, vice versa.
Oh, Happy Days was 74 to 84.
So then yes. So Happy Days was kind of was on the cusp of this movie.
Yeah.
So, yep, number 8, American Graffiti. Number 7, 1973, also directed by Jack Hill. It is my favorite blaxploitation movie of all time. Does that give any hints?
Jackie Brown?
No, that is 1997. But this has the same actress in it.
I think is it not Jackie Brown? It's something. I think I know.
This is Coffee.
Nope, definitely didn't have that.
Called Coffee. It's Pam Grier. She's seeking revenge against the drug dealers that have got her younger sister into heroin, and she's basically just being a kick-ass woman, just using every tactic available in her arsenal to be able to just absolutely destroy all these drug dealers in her way to help take revenge against her sister.
That's a terribly named movie. Awesome.
It's COFFY. It's her name.
Oh, I was literally thinking like the coffee bean.
No, I should have said that. COFFY. Yeah. The soundtrack is absolutely killer. The action's great. A blaxploitation movie is basically a movie from that period that kind of shined a light on things that was scaring middle and upper class America at the time. And it's just, people were afraid of strong, independent black women. And, well, I'd say they still are, but they definitely were in 1973, which is what kind of coined that term, blaxploitation. But definitely my favorite. Pam Grier rules. And it was also one of the major movies that kind of bridged the gap between a mainstream movie and a 42nd Street grindhouse blaxploitation film. Very good. Soundtrack alone, I recommend. Number 6, a movie from 1974, directed by Mel Brooks, and that is Young Frankenstein. I watched this movie when I was super young, like 6 or 7 years old with my parents. And I thought Peter Boyle as Frankenstein was hilarious. There was nothing funnier than the putting on the Ritz, and then just the seesaw with the little girl and the blind man with the soup. Like, to me, like that, and the Abby Normal brain, and the Igor with the hump. It's just great. Yeah, that to me is there's no better Mel Brooks movie in my opinion. Number 6, Young Frankenstein. Number 5, probably the most criminally underrated movie of the decade. 1977. It was directed by John Flynn. No.
This is just not ringing any bells to me.
It stars Tommy Lee Jones.
Men in Black.
Oh Lord.
How
did I know you were going to say that?
William Devane. Devaney, I think is how you say his name. Anyways, all right, it's called Rolling Thunder.
Oh, geez, I remember. That wasn't the hydro plane one.
No. So William Devaney's character and Tommy Lee Jones' characters are prisoners in a Vietnam prison camp for years and years and years and years.
Oh yeah, I remember that movie.
And they finally free them, and they come home to their small Texas town right outside of San Antonio. And the first little bit of it is them trying to like just figure out how to live a normal life. They were given. The main character, Devaney, was given like $5,000 and a red convertible. I think it's a Cadillac. I'm not 100% sure.
It is definitely a Cadillac.
But basically, he's got a wife who, believing that he was dead, basically has moved on, and it is in love with another man. But they're like, what are we gonna like? He has to have a home. So they obviously let him stay there, and he ends up sleeping in the shed. And he's got like a son that he barely met when he was born, and then he became a prisoner. So that's also kind of uncomfortable. So one day, when everybody's out of the house, these criminals decide I know he's got $5,000 in cash there. We're gonna steal it, and they break into the house, and unfortunately, the mom and the son and the new stepdad come home, and the robbers end up killing them. Then the war hero Devaney, or Charles Rain is what his name is in the movie, comes home and is successfully is able to like fight them off, but they turn on the garbage disposal and shove his hand down there, and then leave him to bleed out and die.
Yeah, I remember that scene. Yeah.
So then the rest of the movie is him and Tommy Lee Jones' character just absolutely like destroying this gang of criminals that lead them down to Mexico, that have this giant shootout in this brothel. It's oh my god, it's so good. It's so fucking good, and it is so underrated. I tell people all the time, if you want to watch like the perfect grindhouse movie that doesn't have a lot of horror elements, Rolling Thunder defines that genre, in my opinion.
I didn't realize that you consider that a grindhouse movie.
Just because of its shoestring budget and it's the way that it was released and stuff like that. Like, it was just such a small movie.
I don't know. It's $2 million, like that small in '77. I feel like that's quite a bit.
It's $2 million? I thought it was less than that. Either way, the way that they released it, then, yeah, because I think it was a flop for the studio.
Probably was, yeah. But I do remember this movie the moment you said like you were talking about it, and I'm like, oh wait, I remember this now. It was a red Cadillac.
Tommy Lee Jones has the entire film. He's dead inside.
Yeah,
and like there's a scene where Charles Rain goes to his house, like, hey, I need you to come with me to Mexico, and we're gonna kill a bunch of people, and you can't ask questions. And he's like, okay. He's so understated and morose, but it's kind of haunting. But but
at the same time, that specific scene has been done so many times, like as like a ride or die kind of like mentality.
Sure, but that started with this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that specific scene right there started that whole idea. And yeah, it was yeah, you're right. It's definitely a great movie. I completely forgot about it.
Geoff, if you've never seen it, this is one I definitely recommend watching.
Oh yeah,
I'll take a look at it.
It's good.
Number 4, I won't spend a ton of time on the next two just because you guys have talked about it, and we did have one crossover, all three of us. Well, number 4 is Jaws.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's 1975. Steven Spielberg. The term blockbuster was invented because of this movie. I mean, it was considered the first blockbuster.
Yeah, what's really wild though is it was a PG movie.
Well, there was no PG-13 back then.
Right.
And if you look at I mean, there are tons of like Bad News Bears is like a PG movie.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like there are tons of movies that is wild that they're rated the way that they're rated. Yeah, Jaws is great because it's a horror film, it's an action film, it's a suspense film. all in one, and the acting is really good. I mean, the scene alone where they zoom in on Homeboy's face at Roy Schneider as he's discovering that there's a freaking shark in the water. I mean, you talk about things that have been repeated over and over and over again in movies. That right there, that literal shot of that like very dramatic zoom in. But we take things like it being done so many times for granted that we forget what the original was. I love Jaws. The soundtrack, John Williams, is excellent.
Was it one or two where you saw the great white jump out of the water and just go wow? And
I haven't seen two in forever. You're not thinking of Free Willy?
I might be confusing the two.
I'm joking.
It's the Free Willy jump with the jaws biting.
Speaking of John Williams, my number 3 is Episode 4, A New Hope, Star Wars, directed by George Lucas, 1977. I feel like we don't need to talk about that at length anymore. It changed science fiction. It changed cinema forever and ever and ever. It's unfortunate that Disney has absolutely destroyed it with just shoving it all down our throats. And did you hear there's going to be a Palpatine movie?
No, they're fuck
off.
Oh, you haven't heard that?
No, I know they canceled a bunch.
Palpatine starring Tom Hiddleston.
Oh,
2027.
Gross.
No, hold on.
Is that if that's a lie? Somebody got me.
It's a fan poster.
They canceled a few of them because I know there was something going down in terms of like drama in the Disney camp. So I know quite a few Star Wars projects were either canceled or put on hold. So we'll see how that turns out.
I think that's a fake out, dude.
Okay, if that is, then I wasn't gonna see it either way, but yeah.
There's supposed to be there's going to be a Rey movie.
Nope, that got canceled.
No.
Yep.
When did it get canceled?
Like a couple of weeks ago.
2026. 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't canceled. It's because they're supposed to be
removes Rafe.
They pulled the release date.
Because what's I think is happening is there's supposed to be a new trilogy coming, and I think they're pivoting the trilogy to her.
Oh, so they're pushing it back.
I know that they wanted originally to do basically Rey creates the new Jedi Order, and I think that was supposed to be the new trilogy.
Oh my god, I just don't care.
Yeah, that's the thing though. I think that's part of the reason why so many people are I think that's why they're delaying it and they're kind of looking at it again because of that exact attitude where everyone's just kind of like, eh.
Well, because I mean, they already tried. I don't know. The Acolyte was apparently fucking weird. I didn't even give that a shot.
I didn't want to bother.
According to Screen Rant, it went from May 22nd, 2026. Apparently, the new date is December 18th, 2026.
For what?
This is according to Screen Rant.
Right, but they just pulled it for the December one too. Like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So.
This article was published back in September. Okay, yeah. Like I said,
I thought it was canceled originally a few weeks ago, but we'll see. It's never good. It's never good when a company pulls a movie.
So my number 2 and 1, y'all didn't mention it, but I think you are at least, if you haven't seen, you guys may have seen number 2. If you haven't seen number 1, you should. All right, so my number 2, 1976, directed by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, listen. The Taxi Driver is one that I think I've seen.
I couldn't get into it.
Oh my god, it is so good.
One of those...
Robert De Niro as Travis Bickle it created the anti-hero character. He is not a likable character that that's why people didn't know what to think about this movie. It's like, I'm supposed to root for this piece of shit, and it's like you're like, I guess so. Like, everybody in this fucking movie is bad, and that's the point. That's the point.
Yeah, because it's really just about trying to talk about Vietnam veterans and the psychological toll it took on people. That part is actually the reason why I attempted to watch the movie.
I mean, Jodie Foster should have won an award for it as the 12-year-old prostitute that Harvey Keitel was pimping out. And what are they supposed to be the good people? Betsy, played by Sybil Shepherd, that's the only somewhat good person in the movie. But yeah, no, the dialogue, I don't think there's a movie. I would say that the dialogue is a masterpiece. It won Cannes the year it came out. It was nominated for a ton of Academy Awards, but didn't win any of them. Bernard Herrmann scored it. It's very good. It's just shit ass 1970s New York. And it's Robert De Niro speaking in the mirror, "You talking to me? You talking to me?" Like, that's from that. And that has been satirized, I would say, every year since then in some movie or another.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time I ever heard the word shitheel used.
Did I say shitheel? Shithole is what I said.
No, I know what you said. I'm saying it was it's a quote from the movie.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I love that movie because it's like this. Everybody just sucks, and it's just a reflection of the time. And I think that's super interesting because, again, another time where an anti-hero, or the first instance of an anti-hero really being focused on. And then my number one, 1979, directed by Walter Hill, also takes place in New York City. Any guesses?
I'm not familiar with the name.
All right, it's The Warriors.
Oh, that is a good movie.
This is a freaking masterpiece. This is a comic book movie before comic book movies were a thing. Basically, you've got this one guy named Cyrus who's trying to bring all of New York's gangs, and the gangs are super they're all there's one gang that's in baseball uniforms. There's one gang called the Lizzies that they're all women. It's just basically teams of people. And then you have the Warriors, who are almost kind of a Native American themed team. And basically, as Cyrus is trying to bring all these gangs together to basically take over New York City together instead of fighting each other, Cyrus gets shot. And this is right at the beginning of the movie, so I'm hopefully not spoiling anything. And then the person who shot him says, "The Warriors did it. The Warriors did it." So then the Warriors have to get from Central Park to their turf, which is, I think, Long Island. And that's the whole movie, is them getting back and going through other gangs' territories and having to survive and wheel and deal and stuff like that and fight. It is super colorful and is just, it's like the Odyssey, but modernized to the 70s with a very colorful comic book like aesthetic. It's a perfect film in my opinion.
Yep. The
whole PS2 game is very good too.
I have not seen it.
Oh, I'm surprised because the only reason I watched it was so because good. Well, that one quote, where it's like, "Come out and play." Yeah. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but
Warriors, come out and play. Yeah, I love.
That one line, I was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I gotta know what that. And it's like, oh yeah, this is classic.
They've spoofed that a million times over too.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the Warriors, technically my second favorite movie of the 1970s. Because here's my actual top 10. Number 10, Young Frankenstein. 9, Rolling Thunder. 8, Jaws. 7, Alien. 6, Dawn of the Dead. 5, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 4, Star Wars. 3, Taxi Driver. 2, The Warriors. 1, The Exorcist.
Yeah. Good list. Good list.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of films I need to watch yet.
I would say out of the movies I talked about, man, like if you already tried to watch Taxi Driver and it didn't work for you, it didn't work for you. That's fine. But I recommend The Warriors and Rolling Thunder. Like I especially Rolling Thunder, just because I think more people have seen The Warriors. That is just a movie that just gets ignored far too often.
Yeah,
I that last scene, the shout out, the shootout scene. Woo-hoo!
In the brothel, yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I remember that scene now. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
How'd I do? Did I disappoint?
No, you remember.
Good.
You made me remember a bunch of stuff that I didn't remember at all. It just, man, like The Outsiders, like obviously in the 80s, one of my favorite films. That's what made me watch The Warriors.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because it was very similar in style.
Mm-hmm. Sorry if you can hear my dog snoring. He's asleep next to me.
He's making me want to. He's making me sleepy. I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry.
Like that slow, like just.
Yeah, because we're moving, and so we've got like plastic boxes everywhere. So he's all bummed out that he can't figure out how to get around. So he just gave up and fell asleep.
That's fair.
I don't blame him. It's exactly what I would do. Just say, fuck it. I'll go to bed.
You know, it's actually kind of sad. I may have seen more 60s films.
What? Actually, you know what I'm really surprised by? Let's see. Maybe I might be off on the time. No, I'm off on the time. Never mind.
What movie?
Escape from New York. I'm surprised that wasn't your number one.
That was in my 80s one.
I remembered now.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. No, I think that's 80s. Yeah.
Well, because David, there's a bunch of Bond films in the 60s.
Yeah.
The best Bond films in this, some of the best.
Arguably.
Some of the best. I mean, Casino Royale is my favorite Bond movie, but yeah.
Butch Cassidy, The Sundance Kid.
That's a good one.
That's a great one.
Cool Hand Luke.
Oh, I'm Bullet, The Great Escape.
Oh shit! I forgot about this.
I'm still
movie.
gonna make a 60s list.
Motherfucker! I can't believe I forgot about this movie. Enter the Dragon.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
So I do have a couple of like martial arts movies. The Chinese Boxer, The Street Fighter, Five Fingers of Death, Master of the Flying Guillotine. Enter the Dragon is my number 49.
Of all time? Or just like
of
martial arts movies?
Of the 70s.
Okay. Okay, good. I completely forgot about that movie. It just like, didn't I just totally spaced out on it for some reason.
Another movie that doesn't get nearly enough love is Bad News Bears. Original Bad News Bears.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah. And then you had Fist of Fury. Shit, I forgot all about this. But I think that was like original like Chinese release. Was in the 70s.
Is like, well, this movie is called this in this country, but it's this in this country, and it's like, have I seen this? Is this that movie? And you almost sound like kind of racist because you're like mixing up all these movies, but it's like, no, they just have so many different names depending on the country that they're released in.
Yep.
So like, I love Master of the Flying Guillotine, but I remember talking to somebody out there about it, and they were like, One Armed Boxer versus the Flying Guillotine, and it's like, What movie are you talking about? I was like, what movie are you talking about? They're the same movie.
That tracks.
I will say that this is clearly the episode that we've been most passionate about because we came in just under an hour and 30 minutes.
All right on.
Number one film of the 60s, Mary Poppins.
I need to think about that.
Fucking around.
No, and we don't have to do the 60s because it would maybe be difficult. But hey, if you did, I'll have a list ready.
We could, but I think
it would be
more interested in the 2010s. I think that one's
totally.
a little bit more.
I can do that. I have a top 50 Western movies.
Was there 50 Western movies at all?
How
I feel like there was only 50 total. Like that's not a fair.
How do you all feel about the top 10 television shows of all time?
Ooh.
Now, I only say of all time because I feel like
I couldn't do a decade one.
I wouldn't want to do a decade one, but I would feel like maybe like top 10 comedy TV shows, top 10 drama TV shows.
I don't know if I would limit it that way, though.
No.
I would have to because there's so much. Because like to me, it's a really tough thing to kind of quantify with TV shows because you have like these shows that have been on since the beginning of time, like The Simpsons. But
would you? Okay. So my only thing to that would be is that are you saying The Simpsons because it's so culturally predominant, or are you saying that because the quality level is still good? Because I would say The Simpsons after up season
5
is terrible.
Oh.
Like after season, and I'm not when I say terrible, I'm saying it doesn't live up to the quality of seasons 1 through 5.
And I think that may have to do more with evolving tastes and just I don't know.
No, I think it just got too
repetitive.
In its own groove. Yeah, like I'm gonna throw this out here. South Park? Do you think season 1 is as good as the latest season?
No, they definitely evolved it. They got better
than season 1.
They've gotten way better. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't say that just because it's been longest running. Like, Doctor Who has been running for fucking, I think it's 60 years now.
Yeah, but they literally stopped several times. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a fair comparison.
Yes, but
that would be like saying Futurama is really great, but at the same time, it stopped after one season, got canceled. Then they're like, oh, let's bring it back, that sort of thing. So like greatest survival of a series, I would say probably Futurama because that thing has came back, died, and came back twice.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's kind of what I'm getting at is that I wouldn't necessarily. The way that I would judge it personally is does the quality as a whole stand up over time?
I 100% will take this challenge.
I think it's doable. I just think you can't don't think about the longevity of certain properties. Just think about okay.
Well, and also it's not about that. What is your favorite? What resonates the best with you?
Right.
Fuck everybody else and critics and the flame and all that. What makes you happy?
No, I get that. I'm not saying, but understand what I'm trying to ask. Where do we put? Let
me throw this out because I think I see what you're saying. It has to be something that if someone were coming to you for recommendations and said, "Hey, I've got nothing else to watch on TV, but I don't want it to be. I want something that I can just sit down and watch for however many months it takes, rather."
Right.
What are the top 10 essential television shows?
Essential.
Essential. Yes.
See, to me, there's like why I asked what I asked is because there's like certain ones where it's like, okay, this TV series, this show, this thing is like, this is the definitive version of this type of series, like, or genre, I guess is best way to put it.
No, don't even look at it from a genre perspective.
Well,
Just
I mean,
literally...
it's kind of hard not to, because like to me, like obviously, like I would say, oh yeah, I prefer like a comedic movie over a drama movie, or not drama movie, but drama TV series. But at the same time, this one particular drama series, like I would ever watch a drama is because of this one particular series. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if you had to stick 10 TV shows into a vault, only 10 shows you could watch from now until the end of time. Which would be the 10?
Yeah, I'm right.
Okay. Oh, that's different. Okay, I can do that. I can live with that.
Well, I mean, it's the top. It's the 10 most.
Let's
essential...
do it right now. Let's go on. Let's
No,
record it.
Fuck no. Fuck no.
Off the top of the dome.
David, I still gotta do my fucking Christmas list. Don't even get me started on television shows. That's gonna be our New Year's podcast.
Okay, we're gonna start right now. All right, top movie of all time, Friends. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my lord. Well, on that note, you have that exciting thing to look forward to in roughly 2 months.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about the greatest shows of all time, I want to bring up. Damn it. I was going to say that one. I forgot it. What's that?
I swear to God, if you come up with something like Get Smart or something, I'm going to murder you.
I was going to say Days of Our Lives.
Oh, Lord. Thank you all so much for listening. No, you're done. You're done.
No, but
we're
Days
done.
of Our Lives.
Oh my God, so much. Thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate you all tuning in. Oh, Jesus fuck. David, I want you to make a top 10 like joke list of like shows, and I want you to start out with that.
I love boat.
Number 1, Riverdale.
Oh my God.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, Riverdale sure is.
God. I was going to say 90210, but hey, you win. Riverdale.
90210, like the college years.
The college years? Oh, God. What's that one spinoff of that one TV series on WB that all the girls liked? I can't remember. Dawson's Creek? There you go.
That wasn't a spinoff.
Are you
Dawson's
sure?
Creek was an original property.
I don't know. It felt like a spinoff. Oh, the OC. There you go.
Oh my God! Now we're really getting into interesting territory.
Go
Anyways, y'all have a great night. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm ending the podcast now.
Later.
Bye.
If I can get to the stop record button before I can stop sneezing.
Jesus Christ! Just click.